Okay, in today's class, we will discuss how to locate rows in a data frame. Okay, how to locate rows in data frame. So, in the previous class, I told you that what is data frame. So, as I told you, the data frame is a two-dimensional data structure. Two-dimensional data structure means simply a list more than one list. Okay, more than one list. Two-dimensional data structure, otherwise two-dimensional array. Already I have told you that. Okay, two one-dimensional array means single array. Okay, two-dimensional array means two arrays are there. Okay, two arrays, rather two lists. Okay, see, now how to locate rows, that is very important. So in this example, a data set is created as a data frame. Okay, data set, I told you that set, already we have studied data structure, lists, sets, dictionaries, tuples. Here set means two two lists. One is that list calories is a list, duration is a list, two lists. That's why it's called two dimensional data structure, otherwise two dimensional array. One array, one list. Array means, in Python, array means list. One list is called calories. It is having the values 420, 380, 390. The values kept in square brackets. Whenever values kept in stored in square bracket, it is a list. Okay. Second, list duration. This list is having values 50, 40, 45 because values are stored in square brackets. So it is two lists. The two lists are part of a set. The two lists are part of set. Set is called the values kept in flower braces. So now it is a data set. Now we need to, in the previous class we have converted the data set into frame, data frame. So by creating objects, df is the data frame. Df, any, you can keep your name, any object name. So by loading the data set into load the data into, means the data set, data is the name of that data set. So you can change this data as your name. Okay, now whenever you load this data set into a data frame object, here object is df, you can keep xyz. So whenever you call print df, you will get this result. Okay, now calories is a series. I told you that series is just like a column, duration is a column. Now locate row, this is the topic we need to understand. What is locate row means? We need to locate the rows, we need to find the rows. So as I told you, the data frame is like a table with rows and columns. Okay, so here pandas use the LOC attribute, locate attribute, to return one or more specified rows. Here rows will be, their index will be specified. So by LOC attribute, locate attribute, pandas can return as output one or more specified rows. Specified, he will specify the index. How it is happened? Return row 0. Row 0 is the index of that row. So it returns 0 index row values. So syntax is print df. Df is what? The object. Okay, dot loc attribute. In index, normally we will show in the Python classes, we try to understand in square brackets. So if we keep index value, so that index row will be printed. So result is like this. Okay, here 0 row having the values 420, 50. 420 calories, 50 is duration. Two values of columns. One column calories, duration is one column. 420 is value of calories column, 50 is value of duration column. So this record, zero record, is called with zero index. Whenever we call zero index, okay, by LOC attribute, locate attribute, we will get these values 420, 50. So print df dot loc zero index. We will get calories 420, duration 50. Now let us see what happened. This is the code. This is the total code written here. How to use LOC. So here we are getting 420, 50. If I change this index number as 1, so one row data will be shown. Say one row calories value is 380, duration is equal to 40. Okay, this is the one row data. Okay, here df is a object, the object of your data frame. So you can change this df as your name, my name also, there is no any problem. But at the time of your calling, you need to call that change in name, otherwise you will get error. Okay, and pd is what your data frame, sorry, your pandas alias name. Pandas is called as pd. You change your name xyz, pandas called as x. So that moment you need to call that pandas alias name, you need to call this as x. Okay, and vasu is what, it is object. So that moment you need to call the object dot loc attribute and index 1. Okay, now see what happened. Data is called what? Data is the name of your data set. I told you that calories is a list, duration is a list. These two lists, part of your data set. Set is designed in flower braces. Okay, so you can, this data set, you can change this name data set. You can change. So that moment you need to call this as data set. Okay, that moment you need to call this as data set, otherwise you will get error. Understood that? Load data into a data frame object. Load data. Data is what? Load data means data set into a data frame object. You call this as data set. Data set. Data set into a data frame object. So one object create yourself Vasu, that is equal to, okay, x is what? Your pandas alias name. We can, no need to call pandas every time pandas. We can keep a nickname log alias name, the x dot data frame. So data frame is, it is what, a attribute within this, the data set, your data set name. If you keep this data set name as somewhat another name, if you keep this data set name like your, suppose if you call it as y, there is no any problem. Just that moment you need to call this as y. You need to call this as y, otherwise you will get error. Now run this code. Now run this code. Okay, there is no any problem. You will get the result. Okay, at whatever the index, at one index, whatever the values is there, one index is what, at zero index it is taking time. Why it is taking time? At one index, name is one index 380 0 40. So 0 index the values are 420 50. At one index 380 40. One more index is there, that is called second index. So you now, you whenever you run this code, you will get the values at the 3 index. Let us see at 3 index whatever the values are there. 3 3 index means from 0, from counting from 0 1 2. The 2 index means that is the 3 index from 0. Okay, the value is 390 45. Let us see, check back that the values at 390 45, 420 50, they are the values at 0 index. 380 40, they are the values of at 1 index. 390 45, they are the values at the second index, means from 0 it is the third index. So this is the way to locate. By attribute locate we can find the rows. That is the topic. Okay, find the rows. Next topic is what? Locate rows. Locate rows means how to locate, how to find a row within that whatever the values are there. I want to get display that values by loc attribute. So this example returns a pandas series. A pandas series is what I told. That pandas series is just like a column. So above this example we will get a series. So return row 0 and 1 means at a time you want to get two rows. The index is at 0 index whatever the row is there, at 1 index whatever the row is there. At a time you want to get two rows. So same use loc attribute. In the index square brackets you refer the two indexes. So let us see, this is the way you are getting same as it is, everything is same, but at loc in before that we have mentioned 0 index, then 1 index. So at, if you change this as 2 index, so you will get the values at 0 index. 0 index is 420 50. At 2 index whatever the values are there you will get that. Let us see. So these are the values. 420 at 0 index 420 50, at last index 50, 0 index 420 50, at second last index 390 45. Okay, if you write 0 to comma 1, so you will get the result as what? The result is total value you will get at 0 index 420 50, at 0 index 420 50, next at second index 390 45. Okay, at 1 index 380 40, as per your, see, so index is not, you are calling the index in not same order. You are calling the data means index values, that rows in different order, 0 1 2. You are not calling in that order, you are calling the rows as per your requirement. If I want to change, I want to call the first, row data 1, that is index, next 0 0, at last finally I want to call second. So by this you have changed the order. You run this code. See that moment what happened. At first index, whatever the value that will be called. At 0 index, whatever the value is that will be called. Second index, whatever the value that will be called. But every time you want to call the row which is the value which is at one row. So 3 times I want to call the data which is at a uh, row 1 index. So same at row 1 index, that is called 380 for 40. So every time 3 times you will get the answer. 380 40 380 40 380 40. So this is the way how to locate the data in rows. Okay. So whenever we are using square brackets, the result is a pandas data frame. Pandas data frame. So always data frame. So in square brackets. Okay. Represents in square brackets. So named indexes. With the index argument, you can name your own indexes. In the previous classes also we studied about index argument. So by that we can, if we will not label any names for our indexes, so the indexes will be taken as 0, 1, 2. But we can name that indexes with our own names. Okay. And a list of names to give each row a name. Okay, so let us see here what happened. So whenever I use this index argument day 1, so day 1 0 index will be called with day 1, 0 to index will be called with day 2 that is what 3 index means 2 index. Okay, third index will be called with day 3. Otherwise, if you will not give these names for your indexes, they will be called as 0, 1, 2. So whenever if you want to give names to your indexes, use index argument. Okay, let us see. This is called. Otherwise, in the previous session, in place of day 1, we can found we can find day in place of day 1 0, at day 2 1, at day 3 2. They are the default index values. If you want to change their index values labels with as per your wish, you want to keep some names for that indexes, day 1, day 2, day 3. That is what. Now if you want to change this index names at somewhat, see, I will change that index names. Okay, as per my wish. Now I want to change the index names as Monday. Okay, only the Monday. Here day 2 will be as Tuesday. Next day 3 will be as Wednesday. Okay, so now run this code. So your index names will be changed as per your requirement. By index argument we can keep our names, whatever the names I want to keep, that names can be given to your indexes 0, 1, 2 with the index argument. Understood? Everything is same. Import pandas as PD, that is compulsory, because you need to import the pandas library and one data set that is to be represented here. Data is a set. I told you that you can change its name as per your is XYZ, and calories duration, these are two lists. So that's why data set means that is a frame, data frame. It is a two-dimensional data structure having more than one list. Otherwise, one array, list, array, both are same in Python. Okay, one object to be created, that object to be loaded into data frame. Okay, okay, this is okay. Everything is okay now. So next, within this next, locate named indexes. We can locate that named index. In the previous class, without name, we are locating that values with the index 0 index, 1 index. Whenever we have kept names for our indexes with the index argument, I can call that values with the index names. Whenever I call day2 means at day2 index, that index name is day2 now. So at day2 index, whatever the value is there, that will be displayed. So what the day2 you have kept day2, where is the day2? Now day2 means day1 day2. In the serial wise you have given the day1 day2 day3. These are three names you have kept for the 0 1 2 indexes. So at 0 1 1 index is what is the value? 380 40. 380 40 will be displayed. Okay, that time also we will use the location loc attribute to return the specified rows. Okay, day2 is the name I have kept for second index. So same loc attribute you will be used to find the data at day2 index, named index. This is the result. Okay, now this is the result. Your within this day1 day2 day3, these are the names kept for indexes. With the location attribute you are requesting for day2 data, so you are getting day2 data here. So but I want to change, if I whenever I want to change this as day day1, so that the value at first index will be shown. The value at first index will be shown. What is the value at first index? 420 50. 420 50, that is the first. 420 50. 420 50, that is the values at for first index. Okay, day 1 index. Now if I call for day 3 index, okay, the values that they are at the part of day 3 index, they will be printed. Okay, now the values at day 3 index, they will be displayed 390 45. Okay, so if you change these names, if you change these names, index names, suppose if you change this index name as wd Wednesday, so according to this you need to call this also wd, otherwise you will get error. Whatever the names you have kept for the you have kept for that indexes, so accordingly you need to call. Okay, otherwise you will get error. 390 45. Okay, if you change this index name as Saturday, dat, so you need to call this as dat. Understood that? Very simple to understand. Just you need to keep your concentration. Otherwise, you will get nothing is worry. It's not very difficult. It is very simple to understand that. Okay. Very simple to understand. The Pandas is a library. I told you that Pandas. So many libraries are there in in Python. Pandas, NumPy, SciPy. NumPy means numerical Python. Okay, scientific Python. Pygame is for gaming. Web development is, that is what, Django, Flask, Keras, TensorFlow. So many libraries are there. So now come to the point. Next point is what, load files into a data frame.